Hello everyone, today I'm going to share with you how I cook stir-fry green beans with shallot and a sprinkling of toasted sesame on top. I love having this inside a crepe or over freshly steamed rice. Whether you serve it hot or cold, I think you'll really enjoy this vegetable dish. The main ingredient for today are these garden fresh green beans. In Chinese, my mother calls them 老来少, but I believe they're comparable if not exactly the same as Italian green beans. You can of course use other varieties of green beans, but I really like these ones. I think they're fun, they're different, and they're easier to slice. Next, you'll want to get yourself a shallot. Mine is looking not so fresh as I bought it a while ago with the intention of making this recipe but never got around to it. Either way, once we cook it, it'll be fine. An optional ingredient is sesame seed. Now these are just the white colored ones. I like to use them a little bit toasted, so you can do that in a pan or in your toaster oven. Alternatively, you could also use green onions or chives, but because our green beans are green, I find this doesn't really show up and I prefer the sesame seeds. It's up to you. Now it's time to prep our ingredients. I like to cut these beans on the diagonal in small slivers or thin slices, whatever you want to call them, but this gives more surface area and it makes the beans cook faster. You can cut them in chunks, but I really recommend cutting them like this on the diagonal. With our shallot, I'm just taking off the ends like so and then cutting it into a similar size. You can do them in slivers, you can do them in slices, but because it is a shallot, it'll probably just come off in little threads and slices, and that's fine. Now that I'm thinking about it, you might want to try this with a small onion and see if you get a similar result. I'm not sure. What I really love about this dish is that it is so ingredient simple. You don't need a lot. Sometimes I'll just cook it with the green beans and no shallots, but shallots are special just for you today. Now onto the real cooking. In a deep pan, you'll want to add in a swirl of flavorless oil. You can use peanut oil. Here I'm using canola, which is the standard at home. You want to throw in your shallots, and this should be on medium heat. Move it around with your pair of chopsticks just to make sure it's evenly coated, and fry it until you get a great aroma in the room. You'll know when it's ready and the shallots are softened with a little bit of browning. Now we're ready to add our green beans. I have about maybe 10 or 15 beans here. They are quite large, so this will probably serve about 2 to 3 people depending on the size of your serving. Once you have them in your pan, I add a little bit more of canola oil just because now we have more food in here, and you want to rapidly move it around in the pan. Don't let anything burn. We are still on medium to medium high heat. As the beans begin to change color, you're ready to add a small amount of water, and we are going to turn this down, cover it up, and just let it slowly simmer. The reason being that you do not want to be eating raw beans, so we are just going to simmer for about maybe 3 minutes, no more than 5, to make sure that it's really cooked through. It will take some experience to figure out how much water to add depending on your cooking and serving size, and you don't want to overcook the beans or else they turn mushy. Once the water has evaporated, it is time to turn the heat back up and add a small bit of soy sauce. I love light soy. You could use dark soy, but it has a different flavor and it tends to make the beans go really dark, so I do recommend light soy or less sodium light soy. Move the beans around in the pan until they are evenly coated and you are ready to serve. Like I mentioned, I love this as a vegetarian filling inside a crepe or over freshly steamed rice. You can serve this hot straight from the pan, or it's also great actually as leftovers. I'm finishing things off here with a bit of toasted sesame seeds. It's real easy to do. Just put it on low heat over a pan until the seeds begin to brown, and you can garnish it over anything. I hope that you loved today's Chinese cooking recipe. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Remember to share the video with friends and family, and you can find the full recipe over on my blog. Happy cooking! Bye!